Greetings, Winter in Wonderland. This is Kawaii Riot, and we're here with our last panel of the year and to kick off Winter and Woodlands. I'm really excited to speak with everyone here. But first, let's get our introductions out the way. So my name is Jade, Jaded Island. I'm a writer and the founder of Kawaii Riot.
Hi, my name is Cami. I'm a content creator for the Kawaii Riot.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm one of the advocacy directors and an artist. My pronouns are they, them.
Hey everyone, I'm a disembodied voice today. I use they, them pronouns. I'm an advocacy director for Kawaii Riot, and I do a little bit of writing and artistry as well.
All right, so our panel today is not only our end of the year wrap up, but it's also a reflection of what this project has done and how far we've come and what we're doing, what we face, everything. It's like the end of the year. This is our cute gathering of tea and chat. Let's just talk about it. So when we first started this project, personally, I was a little worried that I would not be able to find people who had the same motivations and drive to make a difference alongside our passion. We in general exist in a very cute space, and I feared that we would not be able to talk about important matters without reprimanding the community. However, there I was one night writing this manifesto, which will be linked in the Twitch chat as well. You can read it here. And I was just I think we need to do more, and we are a visual community. If our style can draw the eye, then we can use that chance to make a difference. And that's what Kawaii Riot has done for us. Our community, our platform, even for me personally, it's done a lot already. So I want to talk about some of the challenges that we have faced together as a team. So in general, our team has faced this little myriad of things that we've challenged ourselves with, that we face as a team. And we're going to go through and kind of explore what these challenges have showed us, what we've done with them individually. So personally, I found that my biggest challenge with this platform and this project has been not only the creative stress, because I'm new to leadership personally, and finding myself in a position where I need to not only manage and direct. I've worried that I'm not good enough for this. I'm not the right person. There's someone who's way more capable than me to lead a platform for advocacy and intersectionality. I mean, I'm just a regular old girl from Maryland who talks about things that are important to me, yes, but to lead others into doing the same, that scared me. And that challenge and that stress of being a creative and a leader together was one of the bigger things that I found that I faced during this project's first few months. Another thing that I had a lot of issues with personally, my emotional investment. I'm a really big advocate for Black Lives Matter, and so all that stress and strain from what I see on my feed, what I'm reading about in the news, what I'm dealing with locally, it was a lot. And so that emotional investment really, it not only empowered me to do more, but it takes a toll on you over time. And a lot of that stress was difficult to manage, and then also kind of hindered me in some spaces. Was yes, there's a lot going on, but at the same time, I still need to do more. I still need to create and work. And so at the start of the protests in the summer, and of course the early pandemic time, balancing all of that together and finding a way to still say something, still make a difference and work for my community and for the movement, it was challenging. But I found that with this platform, I really learned a lot about myself as an advocate, and also expressed way more than I thought possible working with this team and just doing more together. How about you, Cami?
Well, I wanted to say that you may also think that you're not good enough, but to everyone else, you're amazing. I feel your leadership has really helped me with one of the issues I had was time management. So I struggle a lot with executive dysfunction and just I don't know, sometimes I lose whole days just doing nothing, and it's I had a lot of stuff I planned to do, but I'll think of oh, I have to do this, but to do this I have to do this first, and to do that there's also something else I have to do first. So I struggle a lot with time management, but I feel Jade has been really on top of checking in and stuff, and just seeing where everyone's at. And so that has helped me a lot. So I can kind of at least have some sort of metric of how things are going, and that helps me a lot with my time management. And another issue I kind of have a lot is like creative stress. And I guess I would like say creative stress for me is just like knowing if like my work is good enough, or like sometimes I kind of feel like a perfectionist. So I'm like, do I want to like get this piece of thing out, or do I want to like sit here and try and like perfect it and stuff? And I don't know. So that's some of the challenges that I faced being on Kawaii Riot. But I feel like working as a team, like we've been able to like get a lot of these things sorted out together. What do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, you definitely struck a chord mentioning executive dysfunction. I definitely feel you a lot on that. I feel like it's very rough for people during the pandemic, especially who already struggled with executive dysfunction, and it's just kind of gotten worse in some ways. But I think, yeah, having a team to work with has really helped. I definitely felt a little bit awkward because I joined back in September. So, it's like, oh, I'm jumping in on something that like I haven't been around for a bit. So I've felt a little bit like the odd one out. But you all have been so lovely and welcoming, and this community has really helped a lot with any kind of burnout or stress I was already dealing with due to pandemic and just chronic illness stuff. The Kawaii Riot community that you have built here, and just the alternative fashion community in general, has definitely helped a lot with those challenges, I feel like. What about you, Avina?
So for me, I am very much the sort of person who gets very passionate about something and then has no idea where to direct it or who to direct it to. I tend to like yell into the void and hope someone's listening. And Kawaii Riot was awesome because it just gave me this opportunity to be more directed with my actions and with my advocacy. And in a sense, it also helped me a lot with burnout because I knew I had a different way of like framing issues and a different lens to look at things through, and look like having Kawaii Riot kind of like helped me avoid more being even more overwhelmed. I mean, I feel like this year, no matter what, like we're always operating on like a 10 out of 10 in terms of overwhelming level, but it's been helping me maybe even come down to like an 8 or a 9 sometimes, which is much appreciated because like the first half of this year before joining this project, I was very easily like just perpetually on like a 20 out of 10 in terms of just how overwhelmed I felt. Um, Similar to that, like, I time management's like a big thing for me. I definitely am the sort of person who comes up with a lot of personal projects for myself and then can't figure out how to manage my time to like make sure I follow through. So having the team has been great as like a way of checking in, giving each other advice, and just building off of each other's strengths to just become even better as time goes on. And I think that's, for me, that's like what life is about, is just like honing in on the things that are unique to you, the things that only you can do, and just like polishing them to make them even brighter and better. So yeah, that's kind of what my challenge was and how I felt I was beginning to overcome them through this last quarter.
So as a team, we've each struggled with not only real life, but like creative things, and also coming together on this platform and sharing in our advocacy. So creatively, how we've applied our skills has branched in many different ways, but our main message, of course, is intersectionality. Cami, why don't you go ahead and tell them about what that means for us? You can read our quote.
Okay, so intersectionality is a tool to call out discrimination and abuses of privilege within marginalized communities. It's a tool for ensuring that organizations are practicing true inclusion All marginalized identities should feel heard, respected, safe, and be able to fully contribute in all activities. This is a quote by our fellow content creator, Advocacy Director, Sumiko.
Had to hit on mute real quick. So, Charlie, what would you say that like we've actually brought together with our creativity and intersectionality together? So the question is, how did intersectionality challenge our creativity? How would you answer that?
Yeah, so it makes me think a lot about the comic that me and Lauren worked on for overcoming fear in cosplay. And so we really did try to be as intersectional as possible with representing, all sorts of skin types, body types, all sorts of different abilities and level of cosplay, ages, that kind of thing. But I feel like a difficult thing, especially when you're doing art or writing pieces, is you want to be inclusive, but you don't want to go down the route of tokens. So making sure that what you're doing is genuine and authentic and not just about like throwing in one person of color in like a sea of white people, for instance, because that isn't really the kind of intersectionality that we're going for.
Yeah, I agree. And we definitely see a lot of tokenism on social media and with social media activists, but that's a panel for another time.
Yeah.
All right. So, Abina, can you tell me a little bit more about like what working in a team has showed you when it comes to intersectionality and creativity?
So something I really love about Kawaii Riot has been the fact that every single one of our contributors and advocacy directors have something different to bring to the table. We're all unique. We all have experiences that we try our hardest to share with others. And working in a team has also been learning how to listen as well, being able to sit down, hear their voices, amplify their voices, and then integrate the lessons that they're trying to share into your own advocacy, and then instilling it in others and advocate going forward. It's just really cool that we basically have a team that can kind of be like, hey, like I think this is something that is worth focusing on, or hey, why don't you add this element to this piece you're working on right now? And that's been a lot of how our team works together and becomes stronger as a result of that.
Yeah, the teamwork here shows me that like even though we have our moments when like we're screaming into the void, there are other people in that void too who care about those same things. And while I feel that a lot of my life is just me riding into the dark webs, seeing everyone here and also seeing what everyone has to say on like social media and in our emails shows me that like yeah, we're all coming together. I mean, we might not be like singing in a circle or anything, but like we're here, we're doing this together, and I think that's very powerful and important. Which leads me to our next slide. So we had a little quiz yesterday about what's important to Kawaii Riot, like what we want to establish. Sorry, I'm on coffee time, guys. So Charlie, why don't you go ahead and explain to our community here what a brave space is one more time?
Yeah, of course. So we define a brave space as a place where participants, you guys, feel comfortable learning, sharing, and growing. We try to make a brave space inclusive to all races, sexes, genders, abilities, immigration statuses, and lived experiences. And that comes from our glossary on the website.
So this question is for Cami. How would you feel that a brave space matters to this platform and also for us individually?
Yeah, I feel like a brave space is really important because, like, oftentimes when I was like perusing the internet and trying to get involved in spaces, I felt like I had to separate my identity from like kawaii fashion because it was like kind of taboo to like talk about anything like race or like basically to complain. Like maybe you could talk about like where you got this or that or like drama in the community, but you could never really say like, oh, like when I was at this event, I faced this, or I have trouble finding any clothes in my size. Like it's kind of like, eesh, you know? So I feel like it's really important to create like a space where like everyone is allowed to like say their stuff and say their piece in like respectful manner and like everyone is included.
Yeah, I agree. One big portion of our platform is a section on personal narratives, which I'll review some of my favorite pieces a little bit later. But that opening up our space to allow people to talk about things that they've personally experienced in the alternative fashion community has been really important. Which leads me to my next question, Avina. How do brave spaces change the experience of alternative fashion?
So, wow, I had been in alternative fashion spaces for over half of my life now. So yeah, like 15 or something years. Um, and in that span of time, like similar to what Cami was saying earlier, um, it was really common to be silenced and told there's like a quote unquote time and place for discussion of the topics like the ones Kawaii Riot handles. But it's really important to keep in mind that not everyone has the luxury to separate their identities. We're always living our identity. We can't just be only Kawaii and not be, like in my example, South Asian anymore. It's just not possible. So, you know, creating this brave space, I feel like has encouraged people to speak out more and more importantly, for others to learn and listen to their unique experiences. I think up until this point, you know, it was kind of like this unspoken taboo. You don't really bring up like politics and religion. It was like very much that sort of kind of like unspoken rule to the point where, you know, you just start losing friends in the community if you talked about it. And I feel like Kawaii Riot, just the events of this year as well, has like really helped push the alternative fashion community in a direction where you can talk about these things and you know that there's going to be people who are listening and hearing you. I mean, the fact that we're just doing this panel right now in like a J fashion event is like something I would have never imagined like in January of this year. So it's just really incredible to see how much I think the community has changed and opened up to this sort of discussion.
Yeah, and with this experience of what Kawaii Riot has shown us each individually and as a team, I want everyone who's like listening now to consider that like you also have the chance to do this as well. So we're going to talk about some of our personal investments. You can go ahead and pan to the cute slide with all the cuties in the panel. For me, my personal investment, it's not just financially for me, but emotionally. Kawaii Riot is a space where I can talk about the intersectional aspects of being a Black femme with mental health issues, dealing with poverty, queerness in the alternative fashion community. I've had the opportunity to learn more about movements and push my skills into creating content that helps the community grow. I think that working with people who are invested and like more knowledgeable in other movements has really opened up to how I am, not only as an advocate, but also as an ally to those other movements. In the case of sustainable fashion, I always felt like I wasn't the right fit for that movement because I'm someone who's in the working poor and who's dealt with poverty and homelessness. And I thought that sustainable fashion was something, you know, a little more, I guess, classist, but it's actually not. And by opening myself up to those perspectives from, you know, Avina, Cora, and Manon, I've had the chance to realize that I do participate in that movement in some context and that it is not completely alienated from me and my personal experiences. What about you, Charlie?
Oh, are we doing me before Cami?
Oh, I have it. You know, my panel outlines is out of order. Cami, you're right. You're right. Cami, you're next. It's the coffee, guys. I promise.
No problem. So for me, I'm really invested in like giving a voice. Well, I definitely don't want to be a spokesperson for like anybody really, but I do want to speak out on what personally like affects me, which is often like just being like plus size, fat, Black, you know, and so I really wanted to like just share like my experience with the Kawaii Riot and people who like listen to the Kawaii Riot about like, you know, my experience as like a plus size person. And, you know, I just wanted to like bring some more like size inclusivity and stuff, because I know oftentimes like when we start for us other like big girls or other big people, any gender, it's like hard to get into it at first because you feel like none of the clothing is made for you, and it becomes really difficult to even get into the fashion in the first place. So I definitely kind of wanted to like just talk about my experience and like see if anyone could like relate to that. What do you think about that, Charlie?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I have definitely dove more into sustainable fashion due to being plus size as well. So I feel like that's another way that these communities can come together. At least for me, though, I feel like a lot of my unique experiences very heavily relate just because I was born disabled and continue to be chronically ill. And I think Avina had said earlier about how we can't really separate those identities. They are a part of us as much as being a part of this community is a part of us. So I really wanted to take those parts of myself along with my queerness and really start to integrate it into my own activism and my art and kind of how I view and interact with the world. I feel like Kawaii Riot has really allowed me to mesh all of these interests and to reach people who might need it that might otherwise not have been able to access those resources.
I kind of touched on this earlier about like this feeling of needing to like I always felt like I was screaming into a void. I wanted to develop more direction in how I advocated for others and for myself. You know, this year has been really wild for me because I'd been, you know, juggling this feeling of being like a first generation American, being non-binary, being queer, and it's just so easy to get overwhelmed. But it's really exciting to know that there's a place for me to express what weighs on my mind day to day in hopes of reaching others and advocating for others like me. I just really wanted to make sure that my voice was heard so folks would know that they're not alone in what they're feeling, and knowing that there is a community within the alternative fashion community to, you know, talk about these things and find kindred spirits.
I know Lauren's not here, but I can like hear her voice cheering us on, and I'm kind of like tearing up because like it's really heavy things that we are sharing and that we're working with and talking about, and the bravery it takes to even do that, I think, is really powerful. Outside of myself, seeing how people come forward to talk about their experiences, how alternative fashion has changed their perspectives on life. It's I almost said the P word, guys, from the meeting yesterday. It's powerful. It's emotive. It's important. It's essential to, I think, what the community needs a little bit more of. So if we can go ahead and pan over to our next slide, I want to talk about some of the things that we personally valued. Obviously, diversity and inclusivity, education, accountability, and intersectionality. We talked about a lot of different movements and issues that intersect with alternative fashion. We're going to go over some of our favorite pieces here. And if you have some that you've really personally enjoyed and you want to throw out some love for them, feel free to do so in the comments now. But so for me, something that I've really appreciated from our content, Sumiko and Kay have taken research and like academic papers and made things accessible for the community. I love seeing how the research into the movements, the history has transformed into something that is accessible for people who don't always have those resources and that knowledge. I was really inspired by my team in general as they applied a lot of their personal strengths into encouraging the message and for advocating for not only themselves, but for the community. Personally, even recently, Charlie's piece on navigating disfigurement and alternative fashion, I really admire personal narratives a lot, mostly because I like bravery and seeing different perspectives. And Charlie's message drew me in, seeing their personal experiences laid bare like that vulnerability and that space where I'm there listening to their story. It's something that I'll never forget. And when I was reading through it, I was blown away. I was honestly blown away. And having the chance to see a different perspective is important to me because I want to learn and I want to be able to navigate the world a little bit better and with more care and kindness. So yeah, we have a lot of content that we've done in general. I'm just highlighting some of my favorites. What about you guys?
Yeah, so some of my favorites, I feel like really seen and heard by some of the articles that people wrote. For instance, Cora wrote one. Actually, two of Cora's articles really like struck out to me. The first one was this article about what to wear to like protests and stuff. And so like back in like June and like when all those first like BLM protests and stuff started, I was out there too. And it was the Cora was talking about like, oh, you know, what we can wear and what's appropriate based on the circumstance. And I thought that brought a lot of value, especially for people within the community and if they wanted to protest and know what's appropriate to wear, when and where. And also Cora wrote one about asexuality, and I really resonated with that. And in general, I feel like I've just learned so much from this team. And like, since the team is so diverse and stuff, like, I feel like we can kind of get like stuck in like a bubble of like what we know. Like, there's kind of like, this might sound odd, but we get kind of stuck to like this certain point of like wokeness where it's like a block and you just don't learn anymore because you like, you know, everything within the scope that applies to like you, and unless you actively interject yourself into like other spaces, which isn't always appropriate, it can be hard to like learn about other people's like disadvantages and like oppressions and stuff like that. But I feel like being a part of this Kawaii Riot and stuff, I feel like I learned so much more and I've gained so much by being a part of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I definitely felt that a lot. I'm very much an empath, so what Jade was talking about was really resonating with the personal narratives. They really resonate with me as well. I know their piece on Black poverty specifically elicited a lot of very strong emotions, and like you were saying, Jade, about just the bravery that it takes to just talk about that kind of stuff and be that vulnerable, especially in an online space. It takes a lot. And so I definitely want to shout that out. And I also think Manon's art challenge was really cool. I'm really liking the attempt to, you know, mix art and different kinds of activism because, you know, maybe reading articles isn't always the thing for some people. So trying to get everyone engaged, I think, is definitely a really fun idea. And I haven't actually been able to do any of the challenges yet, but I want to. I am hopefully going to have time to do some of them because the prompts are really lovely. What about you, Vina?
I also agree with the art challenge. I want to really sit down and do a couple of the prompts because they just feel like warm hugs. Like a lot of the prompts are just like, wow, I needed to like really think about this. But yeah, I really wanted to shout out Lauren slash Suyoke. I've just thoroughly enjoyed working with her. She's basically one of our editors, and I like up until this point, I've been writing in like academic contexts, so I'm very used to having my pieces reviewed by people who are basically just making the rules, and you just, you know, you incorporate their changes, and there's no such thing as a suggestion. So it was really nice to work with Lauren because I was given this opportunity to speak to someone who wasn't interested in changing my voice, but rather like honing in on it and amplifying it. So just that experience has just been incredible. I just love working with Lauren. And also like feel like I'm tooting my horn a little bit here because I was in this panel too, but I just really loved the sustainability panel that we did with Cora and Manon. It's just like it, incredible to like be talking about sustainable fashion with two people that I really admire and who have done so much in that space. I feel like I've learned a lot of my vocabulary and learned how to be a more sustainable consumer of fashion through reading their pieces and just working with them and just hearing their input on that topic. And I also really love Charlie's piece on disfigurement and alternative fashion. Again, lots of like new vocab, a new perspective that I'm guilty of definitely overlooking in the past. It's just I think my favorite moments are when I'm learning from everyone else on the team and all the contributors we've had.
Yeah, there's so much that we put into this project that, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of like personal energy and time to create content, to curate content for social media and etc. But I think a lot of the time and care that we've put towards this is unbelievably like valuable, not only personally but like to the community. I love that we've taken not only our creativity to writing and creating content, but also to share our research, what we've learned, how we've educated ourselves, and how to make a difference, be a better ally, advocate, and just be together in this space and welcome each other, welcome learning. So we're almost to the questions portion. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and throw them out now. But last thing, so supporting this platform has been up and down. That's how I would describe it. These are, I think, the three key things that I think best support our platform for now. One is the engagement, knowing that if you really like a piece, like Cora's piece on asexuality, that piece is powerful, and seeing people resonate with that and comment on that is important, because then Cora knows that they're not alone and that there are others that share that experience who felt kinship to it. So your engagement is really important to us, along with empathy. We did our Empathy 101 panel not too long ago under the lovely leadership of Cami, and empathy is needed now, like 100%, like over 9,000. That's how much we need empathy right now, because this year has been really tough and difficult for a lot of us. So having the empathy for our space is also really important. And then respecting the culture and perspectives that we're sharing. The majority of us are people of color and come from diverse backgrounds, so respecting that culture and those perspectives is important. I mean, alternative fashion in general is pulling from different spaces, and so how we navigate that is important. And last but not least, the questions portion. So we actually had a couple community submitted questions early on Instagram, I think. I don't know when I posted that, probably at the beginning of the week. So these are the questions that you guys proposed to us first, and then we'll take any that are in the comments after. So the first question that we had was, what can we do if we can't attend protests? Who wants to tackle that? Feel free, volunteer.
I'll go ahead and talk about it. So I think an important thing is, a lot of folks say donating is important, but that's also not feasible for a lot of people, especially this year when, income is so nebulous due to a pandemic. So I think the important thing is to, when you see a new issue or a new petition going around, and it's something that really resonates with you, is to just double check, make sure that that petition is being shared by the people who are actually going to benefit from it. It's all too common to see, unfortunately, scams floating around. So to do your part in making sure that you're not like further disseminating incorrect information or just petitions that aren't actually going to help the problem. A really good example is when you're dealing with international issues. A lot of times people say like urge your senators to invoke sanctions against that country, and it's important to look into what it means to like put sanctions on a country, because it's a lot more. It usually affects the people that are actually already in trouble rather than the people in power who are hurting them. So this is just like some like bit like these minute answers. These are ways that you can help if you can't, physically go out to protests. Of course, donating, fundraising is like really great as well. If you're able, post something like, hey, I donated $10 to this local organization. Can you match my donation? And just encouraging people to get involved that way is also great. Because, that one donation will snowball into more. So those are just some ideas off the top of my head, but there's a lot that you can do that doesn't require physical protesting.
Yeah, I wanted to add on, if you, like me, have a lot of physical issues and like can't stand for like a march or a protest for a long period of time. Personally, I have a lot of respiratory issues. So I saw some really cool recommendations to maybe like you and like a friend or two put some lunch bags together, some water bottles to like donate that to people who are out there marching or protesting. That's one way of supporting the movement and also supporting people that are present there. Another option that I saw was providing rides to people who want to go there and can't do it. I'm someone who doesn't have a car, so finding a ride to marches and protests is often very difficult for me. Buses aren't always reliable, so it does help if someone's like, hey, I'm getting ready to head to so-and-so in DC. Do you need a ride to get there? And having that safer option is nicer than like relying on Lyft or Uber. Did anyone else have anything else they wanted to add to that?
Yeah. This kind of goes with Jade's last tidbit. You can always help with like things that aren't financial or like just putting your body on the line. For instance, Jade was saying like, you can do transportation, but you can also, they had a lot of stakeouts in New York. And so like people were like donating, they're like letting people borrow tents, they're cooking food for them, rides like Jade said. And like, I think what's really the most important, like I'm always saying this, but it's really important that you get involved with like your local groups and stuff. I keep saying this again and again, but like it's really important that you like instead of just like it's good to donate, but like really research like what you're getting involved with. Get involved with like a local one. You know what their plans are. You know what their policies are. You know what they're doing today and tomorrow. Like they're updating you. You could get involved in those groups. You can also text bank with them. Texting other people to get involved and which party to vote for and stuff like that. But I think it's really important that you like get involved in your local group and like attend some of their meetings online if you can. Like, and they're going to tell you like what's up. They have presentations with like what they're about and like where's the money going to and stuff. And they have like jail support and stuff like that. But yeah, like, get involved with your local groups.
To kind of add on to what Cami said, there's so many great newsletters out there. If you're like me and you tend to get like a lot of newsletters to your inbox, you can use a third-party app called unroll.me, and you can put all of your newsletters into that roll up. So you can get like one nice email that's got all of like your dense information about protests and activism local to your area. So definitely check out like email newsletter signups. Those are great ways to just kind of stay informed and to find new ways of helping your community.
So another community submitted question was, does clothing get in the way of activism? I love this question. I think we talked about tackling this. Cora's piece, once again, to reference that, is a really good exploration of this question. Like, what can you actually wear to a protest? I remember getting a couple messages about like, oh, what are you wearing to like the Black Lives Matter protests? And being a Black femme, I don't want to stick out at a protest. So I'm probably not going to dress in alternative fashion. The most that I did was probably just my hair and that's it. But that's something that I can ditch if I need to. So that's why I was okay with that. I would recommend seeing what the community or the organization who's planning this protest or march recommends for those meetings. Usually they'll have like a short list like, hey, yeah, we're wearing all Black, and that's appropriate. That's what you should wear is what they would recommend. I'm not saying that you can't attend like places like Pride and Full Lolita, because that's a space where you're welcoming love and self-acceptance. So that's a good space to wear and like explore alternative fashion. But versus Black Lives Matter stuff, you wouldn't want to wear Lolita there, for instance. Did anyone else want to add on to that? Like from personal experiences or anything like that?
Sorry. It kind of depends on the stakes, like you said. It's just like, for instance, I went to like I think we're talking about specifically like Black Lives Matter marches, but I went to like the Women's March like back before all of this stuff, and like I'd say like, yeah, that's a good place for like, you can wear like J fashion and stuff there. It's more like chill. It's not like no one's gonna like put tear gas in your face or anything like that, but like you got to kind of like scope out like the risk level of like wearing that stuff. And if your group or whatever you're going with, and I recommend you again like go to your local group, see what they're doing and see what they recommend, like Jade said. And a lot of them will have like a little pictorial, you know, what we're wearing here and stuff and how high the stakes are. They'll say all of that. And so make sure it's like usually you want to go to like a Black led one, and then they're going to tell you like what's safe for like if you're a Black femme, or like just like what's safe in general too. So you want to listen to that, and you just want to make sure you're prepared just in case too. Like perhaps you want to wear some really sturdy shoes that even if you get stomped on, it's fine. And make sure you don't have stuff on you that you would be like lost without if you lost it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's generally like okay, but I really wouldn't want to stand out too much. But if you like wearing like goth stuff, you know, maybe you're perfect. Maybe you're good already. Yep.
I feel like the goth style really is just perfect for protests all around. That leads me to another community question. Someone asked, what are cute supportive shoes to wear for marching and protests? Go ahead, Kami. Go ahead and tackle this. I know you have your list ready.
I was saying this when we were practicing. We have like it's expensive. Okay, so like people like to, I know people in the alt community, they love their Doc Martens. Those are good. And because they're heavy, and like if you want also there's New Rocks sometimes they have steel-toed shoes, and it gives you a height advantage so you can see over people and see what's going on and stuff, because it's a huge platform. So I think those are two really good brands of shoes and stuff. But if you don't want to get like your expensive shoes damaged, just get some cheap like Carhartt, or there's like work shoes that are steel toes and stuff. I think those are like the good shoes. And you can always like if you want to qualify them, you can like don't get creative. Like you can paint over shoes if you want. Like get some really good sturdy shoes and just paint over it if you want. If you want to wear like, if you want to make sure you're quiet at the protest, you know, just get creative with it. But New Rocks and Doc Martens and sometimes Simoniers are really good for that.
Maybe that's a workshop that we can do. How to make my protest boots kawaii.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Also on the footwear thing, I feel like it's really important to know that like a lot of shoes ship with like the crappiest insoles, like just the cheapest stuff available. So you can rip out the insoles, it will not hurt the shoe, and replace them with some really nice ones that are like more cushioned or like orthopedic. That's like definitely something I recommend doing if you know you're going to be walking that shoe for a long time.
Yeah, Walgreens has memory foam soles, and especially if you're disabled already and you have a hard time walking for a long time, those are really helpful. It's just a little thing you can do, and they're usually pretty cheap too. So.
Oh yeah. Also, I really recommend getting like compression socks or something to alleviate any pain. Yeah.
Yeah, these are really good tips. I'm a Doc Martens girl, so that's what I tend to wear. Our last pre-submitted question was, how do I get involved even though I'm in school? Yay to our hardworking students who want to get involved. Does anyone want to tackle it before I go into my mini rant about school involvement?
Yeah, I just had a short suggestion. You know, I'm always saying this stuff about the local grassroots and stuff. A lot of these like these organizations, they also have like groups that are like in, like, you know, in college and stuff, you have your groups, and in high school too. Like those local groups, they also have like versions that are like for school and stuff. So you can always get involved through doing that. You can help out in your community. Sometimes they have like drives, you know, for like stakeouts, or like instead like they'll you can text bank and stuff. That banking is still something that you can do as like a high school or college student, if someone in school, or just help people gather resources. Sometimes they need like very menial stuff that doesn't require you to like put yourself in danger. And so I always recommend those stuff for people in school. You don't really want to put yourself in danger when you're so young. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on mini rant, when you are in school, it does feel like you really can't do as much because like you're trying to get your education and you're trying to like balance working and getting into your new age adult experiences. When I was in college, I believe that was right around when Trump just got into office, like the shift from Obama to Trump, and so that entire experience was like very emotionally heavy and traumatic for me as like a Black woman on campus. And something that I really liked that some people did was having like a group get together where we could all just like kind of cry and hold each other together. That's something very small that you can do, but it helped. It helped to have a space where I could grieve with people that share that same feeling and that experience with me. If you're campus or college or high school, because like everyone can be a learner, um, to get in touch with whoever's in charge. I wanted to say principal, but is that the right word? Dean, is that the right word I'm looking for? Get in touch with those people, maybe your advisor, and see about like what the campus is doing. And if they're not doing anything, that means it's time for you to put your foot forward and see what you can do for your campus and for people who are sharing those similar experiences or who need that support. Like check in on your friends, of course. That's a really good one. I did see that we had a question in the comments from Jossam Jess. I like the alliteration there. And they asked, what are some of the things you are most proud of in regards to Kawaii Riot? Let me answer last. Anyone else want to answer before me? It's there in the comments. I can copy paste it. Maybe we can pull it up.
Yeah. So what are some things you're most proud of in regards to the Kawaii Riot? Personally for me, it's like being able to like kind of like put some stuff out because I'm like I said earlier how I lose time a lot. And I'm not sure what I do. I don't know where the time goes or like, but I have like a self-starter motivation, but I also don't because like I'm like I want to do all this and I start a lot of stuff and never finish it. And so like I'm definitely like very proud of like being able to finish some projects and like kind of get more into like into Kawaii Riot and like more into like graphic design. And I'm also like proud of like I think we had mentioned earlier, like doing the empathy panel a little bit. Like I'm definitely not the leadership type of person or anything. And I don't think I did a lot of leadership, but I was proud of myself for actually finishing the slides and actually like going through with it. And I really want to like thank like Jade and like the rest of the team and stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like you guys are like keeping me on my junk. So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm proud of, and like just being a part of this, I'm just really happy to be a part of it. I'm proud of I'm like actually kind of doing stuff. So yeah.
I think I'm like, I'm proud of the fact that I've been able to figure out new ways to integrate the things I really enjoy doing into like one piece. For me, like my art was kind of separate from my styling, which was separate from my writing. And it's been nice to find new ways to combine those things. I definitely have things I'm not good at. Like Cami's helped me before making like little infographics because like I stink at making like readable graphics that are like Instagram friendly. So that's something that, it's nice to have like that team effort and to be able to tap in someone and be like, hey, I need help with this. So that's been great. But yeah, I think definitely what I've been most proud of has been able to like put my art with my writing together, um, and talk about things that are important to me, um, using basically like as many of the skills as I've developed over the years as I can. And yeah.
I am really proud of all of our panels. Honestly, I think the amount of effort and love that went into them, especially the sustainability panel, the empathy panel, like all of them, there was just so much like great minds coming together, really like putting in the work and the effort to really like reach out to people, and I think those were really cool. Overcoming fear was so much fun, and the response to that was lovely. I also just want to shout out Lauren again, who is not here. Doing that comic with her was very hard for me. October was a wild month, and it was the biggest comic that I've ever done, just art-wise. So not only was it a lot, but I really appreciate the way that Lauren really helped me with that, and just teamwork has been lovely.
I'm gonna try and say mine without crying. I'm gonna do my best, guys. I'm used to doing things alone, and the fact that my life has kind of like been about me doing things, whatever I can do, I have to do it myself because I'm not gonna get the help. I'm not gonna get the support, and I'm proud of the fact that I haven't let go of it completely. I still like doing things on my own, but like I'm proud of the fact that I do have a space where I have a team, people that I can rely on who support these ideas and the community, and having the chance to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm not the greatest writer. I have my faults. I'm not perfect, and seeing that I can be like, hey guys, can anyone help me with blah blah blah, and you guys jump in on our little message and be like, yeah, let me see what I can do, and I have time for this, and I love this idea, and can I get some more feedback? Having that creative loop and that creative support is something that I'm really proud of creating and being a part of. I'm oh my god, not only is it allergies right now for me, but it's something that I've come to appreciate and love about this team and this platform, is seeing that love and that support in this space grow and not only challenge us to overcome our personal fears and our insecurities, but to work with what we have, use our skill sets and our creativity for something important and powerful. And I'm happy that I get to work with this platform, J Fashion on Demand, work with more alternative fashion communities to build and to continue these conversations and to hold space for things that are important to us. Like, yes, we look damn cute all the time. Yes, this is true, but we also have things that are important alongside that cuteness and experiences that are important and need to be out there. I see someone saying allergies in quotes. It is allergies. I do have real allergies. It's a combination of allergies and me tearing up because I'm so proud of what I've seen my team do and how I've seen the community come together. And I feel like a proud dad right now. Like my kids are growing up, and I'm so happy to see them do that.
I'm making a heart too. You just can't see it.
Did we have I don't even have a tissue for my allergies, guys. Do we have any other questions that we could wrap up with? We've had a really long year. 2020 has been so challenging, and seeing what we can do despite that has also been really inspirational. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions before we wrap up, otherwise we'll just talk and just enjoy the fact that this is winter in Woodlands and we're here together, drinking our coffee, having allergy issues, cough, cough.
Yeah, oh my god, this is so sentimental, emotional.
Like this is
Oh my god.
it's the first quarter of our project, and we're planning for more. We have a whole new year that we're getting ready to challenge not only what we're doing and creating, but the community to do a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to what 2021 will bring the team and this platform.
I love seeing all the I noticed the repeat people in the chat and stuff. The people who keep coming to the panels. I just want to say I really appreciate that, and how like involved some of you guys are. Like I see you guys like I'm a Scorpio, so I'm kind of like stalker personality sometimes, and I like go check on everyone who's like on the Kawaii Riot page and stuff. And I see some like familiar names and stuff because I see you guys comment, and then I'll see you guys like in the streams and stuff. So I really just appreciate how like just nice and like how like involved you guys are, and like what a community you guys are. Like I don't know, I really appreciate that. Like I don't know, that's really cool to me. That's some cool shit. Sorry.
Maybe we should throw out our zodiac signs. It's like, oh yes, hi, I'm Jade, team leader. I'm a Leo. If that helps anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't 100% agree with everything Scorpio, but some things I'm like, yeah, that's definitely it.
I feel that I'm a Scorpio rising, so
I think that's what it is.
It's got some Scorpio energy.
Put our full birth charts out there for the community.
So your birthday was this month?
No, I'm saying we should put our birth charts, like the full lineup of like what our entire astrological chart is out there, and see how the community responds.
That would be crazy.
I'm a Gemini, so I'm
Avina,
I'm here to
no,
bring the
not
chaos.
a Gemini.
Hashtag not all Gemini.
Like a Gemini at all. I don't know. You didn't give me Gemini energy. Usually they're kind of crazy.
Oh, I can be pretty wild. Wait, I'm a Leo moon and a Cancer rising, so that's my.
I feel like I get the Cancer stuff kind of, but I don't really get all that other stuff.
My main sign is Aquarius.
I was super quiet about being a Gemini.
I've been keeping it a secret this whole time. I can't believe it.
Yeah, hiding. Gemini in hiding, infiltrating.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel that though. People always talk crap about Aquarius, and I definitely relate to my Scorpio side more than the Aquarius stuff. People are always like, oh, Aquarius, they don't have any feelings. I'm like, I'm literally the softest being you will ever meet. Ow.
Bro, you really are.
Yeah.
You really are a soft being.
I feel like there's so much slander about every sign. So I'm just like, I don't even like telling people sometimes because like they'll be like, I don't like Scorpios, and they'll like write me off. So I feel like there's so much slander with Leos. Well, Leos, people like Leos.
No, they don't.
Nobody hates. I think Gemini is probably the most hated right now, looking at our current office.
Yeah, a little bit.
Two Geminis. Yeah,
really?
But like
Thanks, Banana. I appreciate that.
I mean, I like Aquariuses, but I actually see a lot of Leo hate because a lot of people view my sign as like very narcissistic, and I'm not going to deny I have my moments, but I consider myself an introverted Leo. So you're not going to see me like on stage being like, rah, I'm a lion. I'm more like, I'm a lion, like that. So.
That's pretty funny. Oh my God. I like any Leo I've met, just like, I don't know, they're mad honest. I appreciate that. Like, I don't feel like, you know, I got to know your business, and like I feel like for the most part they're not lying to me. So yeah.
I feel like Leos are really friendly.
Yeah.
I would say that my sign that I really like about meeting other Leos is that we tend to empower the people around us. Like, while yes, we are seen as narcissistic, we also care about empowerment and you finding confidence in yourself. And I tend to bring that in general when I meet people. So I think that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
But anyway, now I was talking about astrology in this panel, guys.
Roxy said they know nothing about their chart, but they have a lot of earth sign. Like, I don't know anything about my chart besides Scorpio, and I've like looked at it a few times, but the information doesn't stay. So don't even feel bad about that.
I know a lot of Roxy's chart actually. Capricorn on Capricorn on Capricorn. That's a wild chart, actually.
Oh my God.
I remember looking at it and being like, "Wow, Roxy, you've got a lot of Capricorn in your chart there."
That's crazy.
But it's all good. She's a wonderful person.
Oh, looks like we have 30 left. Yeah. Anything? I want to say anything before we hop off here?
Oh, we have more slides.
No, they were just filler slides, just in case questions took like a little bit longer. This is your last chance of the year to ask us questions in real time. So feel free to pop them in there. It can literally be anything. We're pretty well versed on a lot of subjects as a team. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think I talked
What are we
about
planning
unions
next?
last time. I feel like
What are we planning next? So I guess this is a Jade question. I'm gonna do the nonprofit route. I want us to be able to not only provide resources and our research to the community, but also be a reliable source for the community. And having that credibility is important to me. So over the next year, we'll be building in that regards. That's a lot of like accounting and all that other legal stuff that I'll be getting into personally. But as a team, we might expand a little bit, but not too much. We'll be looking for people who are interested in being on the board of directors as well. So we're going to be official. I'm not playing around with the community. Like this platform is not a joke to me. I'm fully invested in what Kawaii Riot is doing in all contexts. We'll still be putting out articles and pieces and artwork and things that show our advocacy and our research. But outside of that, you'll probably see us at a couple panels. I don't know when the world's going to open up again. The pandemic really does put a damper in things, so I don't know how far we'll be able to go depending on how things play out. But if Trump could stop playing games and leave his job because he was fired, maybe things would kick off in a good direction. I don't know. Anyone else have any other plans besides like my general plan? Because like we each also have individual aspirations for the project, so that's also something that I offer to my team in general. Like if they want to do something
more on top of my stuff, and that's it. Yeah.
I definitely want to do more verbal stuff because I enjoy doing the panels and I love talking. So I want to like get a nice mic and potentially do something that's more verbal in nature. Maybe not like a podcast because I don't think I can stick to a schedule, but just having attaching a voice to our words would be fun. That's personal.
We are kind of thinking on the podcast route. Actually, it wouldn't have to be like all the time. Like, okay, podcast releases once a month, and I really like that because it's like you can record one day, edit in like a week or two, and then post something once a month. Sumiko was interested in challenging herself to do a podcast as well and to see what that management is like. So I think that'd be a really cool development. Personally, I don't actually like speaking. This is the non-Leo aspect of me. I mean, if you wanted to take over for panels forever, I would be 100% okay with that.
I love PowerPoint. Like, I literally will just come up with a dumb topic so I can, like, create a PowerPoint presentation, and I love talking. So I can be out here just making a million panels until I get booed off stage. Like...
Yeah, that would be really great. I would appreciate it, because talking, I get so nervous. Like, I'm too introverted for this. Oh, I see we had something spammy in the chat.
Ooh, bigfollows.com. Let me not shout them out.
Don't click the link, y'all. They're not going to make
Listen, internet safety is also really important to this platform.
All right.
All right, cool. I'm glad they got deleted. Anybody... Oh, Roxy would like to know, Avina, if you do those PowerPoint parties.
I had a friend invite me to one, and I totally wanted to do it, but it was scheduled during one of our panels, actually, so I could not go to a PowerPoint party because I was doing a Kawaii Riot panel. So, in a sense, I attended my own PowerPoint party, but I absolutely, please invite me to your PowerPoint parties. I will bring a PowerPoint fully fleshed out, and we'll talk to you for 15 minutes.
Jocelyn just asked favorite Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I think I actually have...
energy.
Hold on. I don't want to turn my video on, but I'm literally surrounded by Pokemon plushes.
Same. I literally have the biggest Yamper that they offer because I have a problem. Anyway.
I got invited to a PowerPoint party already.
Pokemon is not Sylveon. I know a lot of people would assume that because I'm such a pink presence that I like a pink Pokemon, but my favorite is actually Weezing, and it's because as a young lad with asthma, I thought that Pokemon was so funny to me. I was like, oh my god, Weezing, yeah, relatable. And that's how Weezing became my favorite Pokemon. And has stayed my favorite Pokemon this entire time.
Weezing's incredible. I have
Shout out
many
to Wooper.
favorites. I can't narrow them down.
Same.
Like, honestly, I love like dragon and psychic type Pokemon. Yeah. I think Espeon might be a favorite. Is up there for sure. Lavender,
Yes.
can't go wrong.
My wife.
I want a Pokemon tattoo, but I don't know where I would put that. So,
I mean, I guess if you wanted to hide it, you could. You
gotta be business professional sometimes.
Eh.
Oh man, it looks like the Bay Area is having a PowerPoint party. I don't live in the Bay Area though. I'm on the way other side of the country.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Maybe I can like virtually like pop in. I don't know.
I'm inviting myself. I'm
Maybe
coming
it's
to the
virtual.
PowerPoint party.
Avina, you should invite yourself because you're perfect for the PowerPoint party. Oh, you are invited.
Oh, yeah.
It's official.
Oh, it's virtual. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I actually really like how many virtual events started popping up, and I think they're way easier to attend to, especially if you're an introvert and have to have energy to like physically go places and etc. So having the at-home event, was really nice.
Traveling is like a whole fiasco. Like it's like that's why I don't go to parties even before all of this, because it's just like it's not just going to the party. It's like getting ready. Now you gotta like call an Uber to get there, or like go on the train or something, and then like you go back and the train shut down, and now you gotta take like a thing back, and it's cold, and you gotta have a jacket, and it's like it's not just going. It's like a whole process. So I love these virtual events. Even for this, I just popped on a top. I'm wearing sweats, and it's done.
Oh yeah, I love the I think the TikTok culture of showing like how people look for their work days, and so you see like the blazer and stuff, and the top hat, and then they stand up and it sweats underneath, and I'm just like, that's the type of energy that I want going forward.
Hell yeah! I haven't worn pants since March. Don't even talk to me about pants anymore.
Oh my goodness, we're scheduled to 6:30. Why did I think it was 6:15?
Dang.
Oh my goodness, that's so much time.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep it going then. Keep that energy alive.
I could talk about Pokemon for 20 minutes, honestly.
I mean, feel free. Like, we can talk about whatever. Also, if you still have questions, don't be shy. Since we're here till 6:30, we will answer them at any point in time. Otherwise, we'll just be on our Pokemon tangents.
Well, random, but I want to show you guys my favorite stuffed toy. Hold on.
Oh, yes.
Also, Cammy's background in general is just like very beautiful and aesthetically pleasing to look at from here.
No, I'm so jealous.
Like, wow, that's just gorgeous. Gold.
Yeah, it's like my safe space. But see, these sort of sweats.
Oh my god.
I recently got okay, so if you guys know Squashmallows, this is called Big Boy, and it's from Tiny United Kingdom. And it's like, I don't know. It's just something about the design. It's just so it's so cute. Look, I put an earring in it. Wait.
That's so cute.
I gave him an ear piercing because I just felt like he deserved it. And they're just as soft as the Squashmallows, but they're supposed to be like overstuffed a little bit, so it's just like a little more plump. And it's the head. The head is just really selling me. Like, it's just so cute and soft, and like I literally just been like this with him like all the time. But yeah, and then like I would say like my second favorite is these fuzzy bone ones or whatever they're called, because they look unique and they have skull faces. And then like the Squashmallows. But yeah, oh my god, look, they're freaking out. So everyone is new, yeah. It's definitely worth it. It's kind of pricey, but like the serotonin this gives me is kind of crazy. Like, I just never thought I'd be so like happy just to have them. Like, oh my god. But yeah, definitely get one. If you're thinking about it, don't even think about it. Just buy it.
Listen, it's the season to treat yourself.
Exactly.
I saw a couple questions in the chat real quick, so I want to like get to them too, since we do have the time.
Yeah.
So someone asked, what other panel ideas do you have? It's funny that you asked that, because yesterday we were talking about future panels. I know that Avina suggested we do for the Valentine's Day something about self-love, relationships, and sexuality. Some other ideas that we wanted to kind of put out there in the air. We wanted to do a panel on social media activism. I'm a big talker of performative activism. We recently had a really big social media account get exposed. I called it the activism tea, because when your advocacy is performative and it comes to light, it's not a good look. It's not a good move. Advocacy in school is another panel that we were interested in doing for people who are still in college or high school, or, I mean, you can still do advocacy even in middle school too. That's a good panel to kind of divulge into and explore. I know we wanted to talk about parasocial behavior on social media, boundary settings, mental labor. We do love the empathy panel.
I eventually want to do a panel on disability and ways of navigating alternative fashion, like we were talking about with the shoe thing. Is just very simple, but there are lots of other things that I feel like might be helpful and good to talk about.
Yeah, and if you have panel ideas, we do kind of a call to action post on Instagram where we're like, hey, did you have anything that you were interested in hearing us talk about or explore? And that's a really good time to submit those ideas there, and we'll put together a lovely PowerPoint and put our research together, get our sources, and be out here talking about things that are important to not just us, but also you guys. Do we have any other panel ideas that we could just think of off the fly? I know I wanted to see another empathy panel. I thought that was a really...
Yes, that's what I was going to say. A second empathy one where we kind of it. Ideally, I'd like it to be an entire series, because one of my main missions in life is I feel like empathy in the world, so I love just have this whole series where people can learn about empathy and practice it and just become... I feel like the world would be such a better place if we just had a bit more heart for people in general. And I'd maybe like to have a panel for I think this one would really be people really like this one, just be fashion 101 for beginning plus plus size people who want to start out in J fashion and stuff. So maybe I can share some tips and stuff and how I got started. Actually, literally most of the stuff I wear isn't people from J fashion brands. You really just got to be creative. So maybe I'll just do one on that, maybe one on that. Yeah.
I would love to see one on toxic positivity. I think Cora would be interested in joining me in on that. We had a conversation about that way back in the day. There are people that I'm interested in interviewing too for the platform that I think would be really good guest panelists to talk about different subjects and experiences in the community. We have a lot of Kawaii influencers that I think have different perspectives on what being an influencer is for the community and what creating content and that experience is like and how they navigate their identity as a person versus them being an influencer. I think that'd be an interesting conversation. Anyone else? There was one more question.
It might be on the drier side, but I would love to do a panel about navigating nonprofits and donating to organizations, because I feel like it's really easy to get bamboozled. So I mean, it's a bit of a dry topic. It'd probably have to be mixed in with some other things, or else I'm worried it'll become a snooze fest because you will see me going through IRS regulations. So we could definitely...
it's a learning opportunity. I think that would be good. Manon said that she's interested in hosting a clothing mending panel in the comments, which I am 100% for. So, hey, if I can save money, I'm down for it.
Oh my gosh, can I babble about laundry in the comments? Because I will babble about laundry.
Another question that we had is, once quarantine ends, what J fashion event would you like to attend? I'm in the DMV area, and so Katsucon is a really big one. I highly doubt that's going to happen at the start of 2021 because we're probably going to get into another phase 2 of lockdowns again, I think, from what I'm hearing from Maryland at least. So ideally, I would have liked to have gone to Katsucon again. That was my first big convention. So seeing my friends from all over the place was really nice. I do want to attend the Pretty Princess Club event in the early winter, late fall. I've never gone to an event on the Bay Area. I like travel in general, so I would love to just go to different events and meet communities from those areas. So I just like seeing how the other side lives and like what's it like to be alternative and different spaces. I got to go to Chicago at the start of the year before the pandemic, and who knew that would be my last J Fashion event for the year, at least in person. And I got to meet some of my heroes. I got to meet Hayden and Kamila and meet the Chicago Kawaii community, and that was freaking amazing. I was in awe. I was like, wow, they're real people. And I had a really good time. So ideally, I would love to do more like smaller events like that where I go out and meet the community. What about you guys? Do you have any events that you're interested in, like, you know, after COVID, things you wanted to do for J Fashion at least?
Yeah, well, kind of what you said actually, like, isn't like that far from like the DMV, so I wanted to go to Katsucon for like a while too. So like, I just wanted to like just go to more cons and stuff in general, because like I feel like as a weeb, I haven't been like doing my duty to like go interact with other weebs. I sit here alone. None of my friends. I really want more like gamer and like anime friends, because like when I want to act like when I want to talk about it, I just have no one to talk to really. So like I definitely wanted to like go meet some cool people in person and stuff at Katsucon or like Comic Con again, because I went to Comic Con and I was super late because I was, I told you guys I lose time. Like I don't know what happens with my time, but it just goes away, and I was super late. So I'd like to go to Comic Con or Katsucon or like maybe like some Lolita events, but I don't know if I could do a Lolita events because I don't have any Lolita clothes. But I just want to be around the cute people.
Oh, there's that. Is it Paradiso? I'm probably saying that wrong. I've seen images from that event, and it's a Lolita event, and I love how like the energy of that event is. I
Yeah.
only have one thing of Lolita clothing like ever, and I did recently get the release from Empire Noir. There's a pink dress that I really liked that I was like, I can definitely like do and explore Lolita in that aspect. I don't know how well I would do in Lolita personally. I'm kind of awkward, which is why I tend to be more on the Dekara and Kawaii side of things. So we'll see. If you see me in Lolita, don't judge me too hard. It's
I'm dead.
baby's first Lolita chord.
No, we're gonna practice empathy. We're gonna practice. So
I hope so. I don't want to get dragged in my comments. I'll be so sad.
nah, don't worry about that. Yeah.
I attended my first MagFest in January of this year, which is hard to believe. I think it was the first weekend of the year. So it's wild that I like went to concerts and was like packed into tight spaces with people jumping around me, and then like the rest of 2020 was this reality. But I it's already been pushed indefinitely because it's usually the first weekend of January, and it actually takes place in the same hotel that Katsucon takes place in, so it's another like Maryland area event. But whenever the next like in-person MagFest happens, I would love to go back. It doesn't have like, it's more of like a music festival than it is like in like a convention in like the traditional sense of the word. Like you're going there to see like performers. So it was just really cool to like wear, like I wore a lot of like old school Lolita and like went to a concert, which is just like something that like a little baby me would have like only dreamed of. So it's just so cool to see some of my favorite musicians while I'm like sitting here like in head to toe like J Fashion. It just felt so cool. So I definitely want to like attend another MagFest as soon as it's safe to.
That's the thing. As soon as it's safe to, what are we actually going to be doing?
Who knows?
Oh man, there are a lot of events that I wish that I experienced before COVID. I didn't know how much I would miss meeting up with people until the pandemic happened. Because I think that I'm way more introverted than apparently I thought I was. So
I was actually like, I get really bad anxiety in crowds. Like I just can't handle crowds. and I find myself missing concerts. Like I remember at MagFest I was kind of freaking out and I hung out in the back because I was just like, oh gosh, like there's so many people here. I'm feeling a little claustrophobic, and I used to just like hang out in like the emptier areas of like the like concert rooms. And like now it's like I'm sitting here missing that, and it's just so weird to me.
Yeah, the missing the loudness is also a big surprise for me that I've come to realize, because like I'm so used to wanting quiet so much that now I'm like, wow, I just miss writing in a cafe. I miss that. Something so simple. I just love the noise and being around people and seeing how I work and function as a creative, and without those spaces to be around all the loud extroverts, really. It really shows me like things that I prioritize and what I actually enjoy about life.
God,
Yeah.
I am the exact opposite from all of y'all. Like, I am still very introverted, but I am very much a homebody. I do not miss crowds. I don't miss going to concerts or loud noises. And maybe this is just me being extra cynical, but I probably won't frankly be going anywhere in 2021 because one, I probably have autoimmune issues, so I don't trust people. And I also, at least here in Wisconsin, I don't trust people to properly take the vaccine. I wish I could, because I would very much like to go places and do fun things, but at least for me, I am trying to grapple with the very real possibility that I might just spend a lot of next year in the house as well, which
Well, you can visit me on Animal Crossings. That's
Yeah.
technically vegan.
It's a little
that's true.
unfortunate,
Yes.
but I kind of get what you're feeling. Like, I don't personally struggle from like autoimmune issues. At least I don't think, but I definitely like. I had a kind of personality switch because like before I used to like plan events and stuff, you know, like, oh, let's all go to this pink cafe and stuff. And I still kind of want to do it, but I feel like I've become very agoraphobic lately. I've kind of fear going outside because I feel like I've gotten so used to just being in my little perfect bubble here that like once I go outside, like I lose control of like every single aspect. Like people aren't wearing masks, they're standing too close to me, they're yelling, and or like if I get lost or something, I don't know, it's like I don't have a trust for like people anymore. Not necessarily like just kind of like in COVID sense, kind of like I just don't trust people's logic when it comes to wearing masks, and like I don't trust that they're safe and stuff. And I just like I've been inside so much that I feel like a lot safer here. So I've gotten like really like agoraphobic, and I find it hard to go outside, even just to do groceries and stuff. So that's kind of hard and stuff. So I kind of resonate with like Charlie, and like you don't expect to go outside. I don't really expect to go outside, but I do want to. I wish like this stuff kind of wasn't going on. But yeah.
No, those are all like
Don't we
really
all?
valid feelings to have. I think what's been really scary about the pandemic is how many people just don't care. I really hated going out to do any small errands, because when you do see people without their mask on, you're just like, wow, like, am I really being like gaslit about the pandemic right now? Because like, why are so many
Exactly.
people not wearing masks? And that was frightening. I think it's scary going outside personally. Whenever I have to film for social media and stuff, I'm like, I really don't want to be here, but like I don't have the space to film without like distraction and like a whole bunch of noise. But then I go to the park and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Y'all really out here without any masks? I mean, come
Right.
on now.
Right.
like really?
Yeah.
I definitely don't think I'll ever return to like a mask-free existence in public. Like even before the pandemic hit, I used to take the metro into the city every day to work, and I had like hand sanitizer clipped to my bag, and I actually found my old work bag that I haven't touched in ages because I haven't been commuting all year. and I found a little like cloth mask that I had like in one of the inner pockets that I guess I was carrying around even back then that I'd forgotten about because memory and time is a thing. And I remember I like didn't catch like a seasonal cold or flu all that time with me taking the metro with like people coughing all around me and like not understanding that you don't cough into your hands and stuff like that, because I would like use hand sanitizer all the time and like wear a mask if I felt like there were people nearby me who were really sick. And I think I'm just going to probably continue doing that if I, ever go out in public, like willy-nilly again.
One thing I'm really jealous of with other cultures is how normalized it is to just, if you are sick, you wear a mask because you care about other people. I feel like, at least here in the US, there's a lot of individualism that
Exactly.
makes some of that hard, and especially like being a disabled person, I don't have the luxury to just, make dumb decisions because I would literally die. And so it's very frustrating seeing people not taking that seriously because it's not just, them that they're endangering, they're endangering other people too.
Yeah.
So I hope that, eventually wearing masks will be a little bit more normalized even after the pandemic, just for, people who are sick, like you were saying.
Also, at this point, we don't even have excuses because like now we have like fashion top tier looking mask at this point. Like there's no excuse. You can get a mask in every color, every design. You can coordinate around your mask at this point. So I don't see why we don't just bring masks into our everyday wear. Make it a standard at this point.
That's true.
Yeah, masks are cute. I definitely miss lipstick, but masks are masks are yeah, like I mean, I saw someone in the comments say like, I hope we can wear masks without judgment now, and I'm just like, you know what, I use my masks a way to passive aggressively judge others. Like I remember I remember if I like saw someone really coughing on the train. This was pre-COVID. And like they were like using their hands and just touching the railings, I would just pull out a mask and just put it on while like maintaining eye contact with them until they like realized like, oh, maybe I shouldn't just be coughing out into the open in an enclosed space. Like maybe that's not the best thing for us right now. So like maybe others will judge you, but you can use the mask to judge them.
I mean, I aspire to be that level of petty. I've got like a mask with a frog on it that says 6 feet apart or 6 feet under. This is a threat. And it literally has like a knife. And that's the mask I wear the most often because I am not playing around.
That's amazing. I had
Someone brought up glasses fogging up with masks. I hate that personally too. I see Charlie's wearing glasses, so
You can put tape on it. I've seen people do that. You have to. The thing is, when it's fogging up, is because there's not a good seal, and so the air is coming out. You're breathing the air in and out of like the gap between your nose and your cheek right there. And so if you seal it up, maybe with like a piece of wire, or I seen like a TikTok where they do tape or like a Band-Aid, that works a lot better.
Yes. Pro tip as well. It might depend on what kind of glasses you have, but at least for my masks, they come up far enough to my nose bridge where I will take my glasses off, then put the mask on, and the bottoms of my glasses here will almost hold down that space that Cami was talking about where like the air will go through. So it like kind of keeps the mask more like better on my face, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Soft glue.
yeah, I just saw it and I was like, stop it.
I've
I'm
never
also
heard of that.
Honestly, you can just get like the craft pipe cleaner, and you can like those little like bendy like fluffy pipe cleaners, and you can feed it into your mask and use it to like kind of It's also really nice if you're like me and are really like sensitive to pain on like just in general. So like they're just kind of like a softer alternative to keeping them from fogging up. I probably could not do sock glue on my face because I also have like extremely sensitive skin, and that's definitely just gonna break me out. But if that works for you, I mean,
Yeah, I'm on team sensitive skin.
Me too.
I'm probably just gonna have to get a band-aid or tape, and once I perfect doing only half my face with makeup, it's over for everybody.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
I've peaked.
Just the eyes now. I only put concealer on the eyes, and like that's it.
eyeliner has become my best friend.
Oh my God,
All right, guys, we are at the end of our panel. I've had fun just chatting and geeking with you guys and talking with the chat and community. I'm really excited to see what Kawaii Riot does in 2021, and I hope that everyone here will join us in our journey. As much as we are the team that is creating this platform and working with it, you are also a part of Kawaii Riot, and you being here in itself is a testament to the future of inclusivity that we want for alternative fashion. So yeah, that's my bit, guys. We can say goodnight and hope everyone enjoys the rest of winter in Woodlands. Bye.
Bye.